Have you ever sat around a campfire, staring into the flames, and felt like you weren't alone? The way the shadows dance, the way the embers glow, it's easy to let your imagination run wild. But for a group of friends one chilly autumn night, imagination had nothing to do with it. Their campfire story wasn't just told, it was lived. The night was perfect for it. The moon was a sliver in the inky sky, and the only light came from the crackling fire pit they'd gathered around. There was Marcus, always the brave one, or at least the one who acted the part. Sarah, his girlfriend, who was easily spooked but loved the thrill. And their two other friends, Liam and Chloe, who were just along for the good time and the roasted marshmallows. They'd been trading ghost stories for about an hour, each one trying to outdo the last. They told tales of headless horsemen, ghostly hitchhikers, and old legends from the very woods they were camping in. But as the night wore on, the stories started to feel a little too real. Every snap of a twig in the darkness made them jump. Every hoot of a distant owl sounded like a warning. That's when Marcus decided to up the ante. He stood up, puffing his chest out with a smirk. "You guys are scared of stories," he said, his voice echoing slightly in the quiet woods. "But what if something was actually here, right now?" Sarah rolled her eyes, pulling her blanket tighter. "Don't, Marcus. You know I hate it when you do this." Liam and Chloe just chuckled, expecting one of Marcus's usual pranks. But Marcus was serious. He stared intently into the heart of the fire, the flames reflecting in his eyes. "I dare whatever's out there," he declared, his voice dropping to a dramatic whisper. "If something's here with us, give USA sign." For a moment, nothing happened. The fire continued to crackle and pop, casting its warm, friendly glow. Chloe started to laugh, breaking the tension. "See, nothing. Now, can we just—" She was cut off as the fire suddenly died. It didn't just flicker out. It was as if someone had thrown a switch. 1 second, there were lively, dancing flames. The next, just a pile of dimly glowing embers. The sudden darkness was shocking, and the woods around them felt infinitely larger and more menacing. An uneasy silence fell over the group, broken only by the sound of their own breathing. "Marcus, what did you do?" Sarah whispered, her voice trembling. "I didn't do anything," he stammered, his bravado gone. Before anyone could say another word, a sound ripped through the silence. It was a deep, guttural whoosh, like a giant lung taking a massive breath. In an instant, the fire roared back to life. But it wasn't the same fire. The flames shot 10 feet into the air, a violent, raging inferno that was unnaturally bright and intensely hot. They all scrambled back from the heat, shielding their faces. But it wasn't the size or the heat of the fire that made them freeze in terror. It was the shape. Within the column of roaring flame, a figure was forming. It was a perfect, burning silhouette of a person, its edges flickering and writhing with the fire. It had a head, shoulders, a torso. It was unmistakably human in shape, but made of pure, living flame. The group was paralyzed, their minds refusing to process what they were seeing. The fiery silhouette seemed to turn its head, its featureless face looking directly at Marcus. Then, it leaned forward out of the fire pit, its form stretching impossibly. The air grew scorching hot, and Marcus could feel the searing heat on his skin, close enough to singe his eyebrows. And then, it spoke. The voice wasn't loud, but it carried over the roar of the flames, a dry, whispering hiss that sounded like scraping embers and burning leaves. It was a voice that seemed to come from the fire itself. "You shouldn't have woken me." A primal scream tore from Marcus's throat. He fell backward, scrambling away on his hands and feet, his eyes wide with pure, undiluted horror. He kept backing away until he hit a tree, his breath coming in ragged sobs. But his friends didn't move. They weren't looking at the fire anymore. They were staring at him. Their faces were pale masks of confusion and fear. "Marcus," Sarah whispered, pointing a shaking finger, "You're your shadow." He looked down at himself. The raging fire cast long, dancing shadows of the trees, of his friends, of the camping gear scattered around. But where his own shadow should have been, there was nothing, just an empty patch of ground, untouched by the darkness that should have been attached to his feet. He looked back at the fire. The burning silhouette was still there, standing calmly within the flames. But now, as it stood there, it cast a long, dark shadow on the ground behind the fire pit. A shadow that was shaped exactly like Marcus. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have a spooky local legend you want to share, leave it in the comments below. Follow for more folklore legends.